Hey guys, this is Ali. Welcome back to my channel, and for the people who are visiting for the first time, I am a tech consultant who makes videos about technology, does unboxing, and make random videos that would help the everyday user. So today's topic is going to be a continuation from my previous videos that I've been making about consulting, and I got a couple of questions about what it's like to travel for a consulting firm. So what is traveling like in consulting? So I have briefly touched this in my previous video, and you could check that video out up here. But consulting, traveling, it's very subjective to what your role is actually on the project. So typical travel in consulting involve traveling from your home to the airport to the hotel, and then to the client site. Based on a deliverable or the statement of work that you are given for that project or for the pre-engagement, you have to go on site, do a meet and greet with the clients. So I'm sure people have a lot of questions. How does travel work? Who pays for the travel? Do you pay up front out of pocket and then you get reimbursed, or whatever the case is? But in reality, it depends on the consulting firm you're working with and the budgets they have for you to travel. If you work for a big firm like I do, they normally give you a corporate card, and you could pretty much go ahead and book your flights, your hotels, use it for meals, use it for luggage, weights, use it for anything that's travel purpose. So the biggest question of all that I get all the time is, how much travel are you doing for consulting work? And I've said this many times, it really depends on the engagement that you're on, it depends on the type of project, it depends on your client. Those variables could really change how much of interaction you need to be having with the client on site or off site, how much you could be remote. It also depends, why it depends on the client is because you really have to build a strong relationship with the client. Of course, that's one piece of it, but then you also have to understand that if your work actually is hands-on work and you have to be on site to be in the data center or to do some sort of a presentation that's going to require you to be there physically, then you would be expected to be on site. So what are some of the advantages of traveling for consulting work? The biggest advantage is that you're going to different cities and different states and maybe different countries. Once you get off from the client site, you could go on and pretty much go see the city and go see the nightlife there. Second thing, you're traveling on company expense, so your hotels are paid for, your meals are paid for. You stack up a lot of airline miles depending on how much you travel, and some credit cards from all the travel let you accumulate points for the hotel, airlines, and everything that you're booking. So at the end, you got all these points that you use towards something that you want to do as a vacation or something down the road. And the most interesting part and the biggest advantage that I find in consulting is that you get to meet a lot of interesting people, and sometimes you work on engagements that you meet the smartest and the brightest people, and you get to exchange knowledge with them and kind of ask them the questions of why they do what they do, what's the motivation behind their role, and what keeps them up at night. And I like to ask a lot of good questions to kind of see why those people are what they are and where they are. So if you're an expert in your field and you know what you're doing and you're in front of the client, you have to deliver. And for me, when I was starting consulting, a lot of times my days would go bad and I would just not want to travel because I was not able to, on my feet, think quick enough to respond to the client on certain things. And that kind of made me not want to go out and not want to do things. And because I feel like I didn't need to be rewarded for that work. And so that's how I felt. But there are many disadvantages as well for traveling for consulting, and some of them are fatigue, jet lag if you're going to different countries. You know, you're constantly traveling, so jet lag is a big problem. So your diet's going to be off. You're going to be eating food outside. It's going to be unhealthy food, and you might end up gaining weight. Another thing is productivity. It takes away a lot of your time from doing the actual work. So most of the time I would hotspot that would make my laptop connect, and I'll be on the go, attending calls, typing up reports on the computer, etc. So it takes a lot of focus away from your actual work, is one of the disadvantages. So before I end the video, I would like to give you guys some tips on traveling. I've traveled for consulting in my beginning years a lot more than I do now, especially now that with the COVID situation. But in the beginning, I remember 3 years straight, I was just traveling all over. I even traveled out of state, out of country. Make sure you pack light. Packing light is everything, because it's not about that you have less weight carrying with you, but when you go through those security checkpoints and you have to take your shoes off and you have to take the laptop out of the bag and put it in the separate bucket and all that, it makes everything so much simpler. So pack light, that's my number one tip. My second tip would be to apply for global entry. So global entry is kind of like pre-TSA, but global entry gives you a lot more. So you could actually do international travel, TSA pre-approved, so you don't have to stop. You pretty much scan your ID and go right through. So that saves you a lot of time. So take my word for it, apply for global entry if you can, if you are especially traveling international. One thing I've noticed that I cannot tell you enough, that you don't want to arrive to client site Monday afternoon, because clients ready to go up charge, they're going to be there first thing in the morning on Monday. They're expecting you. You don't want to show up at 1 o'clock after lunch when they are ready to go home. So what I normally do and what I suggest, and that's my tip to you, is that make sure you fly there Sunday evening. You fly there Sunday evening, check into the hotel, get your stuff ready, make yourself comfortable. Maybe make a quick run to see where the client's office is and everything one day prior, and then go to bed early. So that way when you wake up, you could go straight to the office early in the morning and be there maybe even before the client. So, and make sure you get their contact information and everything. So once you do get there, you need somebody to contact and sign you in and everything. My fourth tip would be to prepare notes. So while you're traveling, you're gonna wanna prepare a lot of notes. Just take notes. Thoughts might come up into your head. Conversation from earlier could just pop up in your head. So make sure you have your iPhone or your Android or whatever in your hand. Take notes. Or if you're comfortable more with a pen and paper, do that. Whatever helps you brainstorm and kind of keep those thoughts together while you're on the go. Last but not least, this might sound not that important, but it has happened to me. So I feel like I should share it with you guys. Never, never, ever forget your phone charger at home. Because a lot of times you are in a rush, somebody's waiting for you outside to drop you at the airport, and you just forget your phone charger. So what I recommend is, if you're traveling a lot, buy another charger and keep that charger in your luggage at all times, so you never forget it. Now, I have stayed in some hotels where they would have extra chargers to let you borrow, but you are not going to find that if you're traveling to some remote location with a hotel that's not so fancy, etc. So make sure you keep your charger with you. But that's it for today. So I would ask again that you guys support my channel, and please do subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, and please do share the video, and do provide your feedback and let me know in comment section that if you found this video helpful.